Definitely, the very first thing would be like your GRE score and your overall profile. So students are often required to submit an SOP. In your SOP, like you have to be very, very specific about the things, let's say about the program which you intend to do. So my major in my undergrad college was information technology, and in Northeastern it was information systems. So I knew like what exactly I wanted to pursue. And in SOP, I also mentioned about my certifications, my publications, so that supplemented my overall profile and what I was apprehensive about my low GRE score. But then it stood out that because like there are things which I had in my profile, no other person would have that in their profile. So that actually gave me like much more boost in my overall application process. So students, if you think that like your GRE score is either too great or like you don't have that kind of GRE score for an Ivy League, try to showcase like some of the extraordinary achievements in your SOP or in your application so that like you can stand a good chance. Obviously, like not everyone is going to get a admit, like let's say in universities like Harvard, MIT, or any Ivy League colleges, despite like having a very good GRE score or very good English proficiency score. GRE score is just like one such thing. But it is like the main requirement nowadays. I'm not sure like if many universities are still waiving off GRE or not, but you can try to use your application. First thing is your GRE, second thing is your English proficiency test. Then you should have a very good resume where you are like showing your kind of academic projects, your some of the extracurricular activities. The templates and everything are available online now. When it comes to selecting universities, you need to have three things to keep in mind. The very first thing is like what are the safe universities for you. Then that sense like based on your GRE score, SOP, LOR, and your English profession, you can easily get into these universities. Like you feel that like you can get those. Then there are moderate universities. Moderate universities are those that you can expect admit from that, but then you might not want to consider those universities. And ambitious universities are like Sone Pe Suhaga. If you get into those universities, it's lucky, you are fortunate enough. So, how many universities one should apply? I would recommend 10 universities. At my time, I had applied only for 7 universities and I got admits from 4 universities. But I was lucky enough that like I got the university admit from Northeastern, and Northeastern was like one of my top priority. Obviously, for my classmates and various of my seniors, it was just like a safe university. But based on my profile, I it was like an ambitious university for me and I got the admit there, so I'm grateful enough. But obviously after getting the admit and like after giving the GR, it doesn't matter. What it matters like how you project yourself in US and how you could actually use your skills to get like a good job or get a good industry based connections and requirements. Number one tip, I know a lot of Gen Z people are like chat GPT experts, and don't use chat GPT. The more you will put your words and your feelings into the SOP, the more narrative it would sound. And I have seen like students nowadays using like chat GPT. They could literally build their SOPs in like 2 minutes, or but it will not yield you fruitful result, even though it would sound like a very good English based paragraph, but it would not have your feelings in mind. So first thing, don't use chat gpt, try to put in your words, and then like you can always revamp those words using like some of the English translators. And obviously like you can use grammarly and other AI assistants for those things, but never use chat gpt, right? In SOP and LOR, as both other things, like you have to write and showcase about yourself. So it is like you and your journey so far and what you actually want to do in your future. So those has to be put into the words in 3 to 4 paragraphs. The ideal length of SOP should be between 500 to 800 words, and it should have like 6 to 7 paragraphs. And the very first paragraph is just like a small introduction about you. Second paragraph, you can share about your academic journey. Third to fourth paragraph, you can also share about professional journey. If someone doesn't have a professional journey, then the student can actually write paragraph 3 and 4 in a quantitative way, such that like they can show some of their extracurricular activities. What then the fifth paragraph, that would be like how you actually got interested into this field. The sixth and the seventh paragraph should be more of a conclusion, that like you want to work under this professor, you want to learn from this particular professor, what their projects, their industry experience and affiliations actually got you more inclined toward this program. Most of the time students like me or like you, I know, would be having one SOP only, and they would just change the name of the universities and the name of the professors. I did the same thing too, you guys can also do the same thing, but try to have something extraordinary about yourself in the SOP. And the second thing, when you are writing the name of that college in the SOP, try to also include two three good points about there. So let's say Northeastern has a good co-op curriculum program, and Northeastern's co-op program is like number one in US. So I also put that two three lines about the co-op program, and I mentioned like what I could achieve, even though in regular life I didn't mean to do that. But you can always show that, so you can actually have some more tangible touch points in your SOPs. Now when it comes to LOR, I know most of the time students would be having a hard time going back and forth with the professor. So try to make good relations with your professors now. This is the time, because you will have to have good recommendations uh, from your professors. In LORs also, like you can just mention in a third person format. Remember, like LOR is something that like your professor is writing about you. So it should not be in your first person format. In LORs, try to mention about things which you had, let's say you taken this course with your professor, so what this course actually helped you and how that course actually helped you to decide this particular project or this particular thing would be helpful for you in that future course. So try to highlight those things in three good paragraphs. So again, first paragraph is just the introduction, second paragraph is like more about you and like the things, third paragraph is more about conclusion. And other thing for LOR is like always get the letterhead of your college and then try to put that in that letterhead and get it officially stamped, signed, and sealed by university. Because again, universities do require an official stamp on the LOR. Same goes for transcripts also. So the very first thing that like you will now need to have their signatures in your LOR. So how much time like you have given any troubles to your professors? This is the time to make it up for that. So also some professors would be understanding enough to give you like the signatures, and like you would have to just compile the SOP LOR, LORs by yourself, and they would just read it and they give you the signatures. Some professors will give you a hard time and run for the money. What are the troubles which you would have given for to your professors? This is the time they will try to get not revenge, but they will try to give you like a run for your signatures. And they will try to make everything to get the possible things out of you, in terms of like making you run for these things, signatures here and there. So this like that's why it's recommended enough, or it's good to have good relationships with your professors, so that like you can actually get the things done in the right amount of time. Because many times when it comes to LOR, the professors have to create their own account in the university portal of the respective universities, and they have to submit their LORs from their end.